I want to lathe it, right? So let's start with that. Let's first of all, let's hide the solid. There's my curves. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and get those on a whole new picture here. Okay, make a new document. And there they are. So let's move them over here and get it set up to do with a lathe. Okay, so I'm going to make a layer right now called stock. And so first thing we're going to do is translate it. So let's go with sketch, enter, translate, and we're going to pick both points. So all I got to do is pick those, select OK. Now my first point to translate from is going to be that point, and the second point I'm going to translate it to is there at 0, right? And so now let's we have to rotate it also to get it flat in the lathe direction. So we're going to go enter, enter, and we're going to rotate it in the X direction by minus 90, and select all that stuff there. Say OK, and rotate it, and it flattens it out. And let's get rid of this line. We don't really need that anymore. So now, now we can go to our top view. There we are. And we have to enable lathe mode. So you click on that, and it's the same as going up here and clicking right there. You can see I'm already in turn mode. Let's create some stock, and basically it's just going to be a square the size of the pawn we want to do. So I need to get rid of, we don't need the fillet that we designed in to create the solid, so we can go to trim, two entities, and I can click on that one and click on that one and get my square corner there. Yeah. Let's zoom in, and I can delete that one now. And now I can pick the square tool and just sketch. Shift click is what's bringing up those snap points, right? So I can shift click and poof. Now I have some stock geometry to put around, or to define my stock with. I'm going to go ahead and get that on another layer here right now to get it out of the way. Let's put it on stock. Okay, so now we're just about ready to go. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and define our stock with that. So I'm going to go ahead and say reselect stock, right? And I can select this one, this one, this one, and that one, and say OK. And now if I click there, you can see that that's my stock. I need to get that out of the way, so I'm just going to blank it. Now I can hide my stock geometry, and I can even get rid of this one here, because I don't need that for the lathe. Now, there's our lathe profile. Remember, lathe loves contour, so what I'm going to do is come up here and make a contour out of that. And there's my contour. Now I can go ahead and add a roughing pass. I think, again, I'm not a lathe guy, so don't laugh too hard. So first thing I'm going to do is select this geometry. And I'm going to select my contour and say OK. And default settings, knowing nothing about it, compute a toolpath, yeah? And I think what's going to happen, and what other guys, lathe guys would know, is with the tool and the tool geometry you're selecting, it's going to miss a bunch of stuff like over in this area right here, yeah? It's going to, so with the tool direction, it'll do that. So being the novice that I am, it's going to make that tool path and have to jump all over there to be able to fit the tool in and cram it in there. So the novice goes like this. Let's just change the color of that one to like a yellow. And then let's get it out of the way for a second. And the novice goes and creates another roughing one. I select geometry for that one again. And I say, OK. Now what I do is I go in and I edit my feature. And I go down to the tool and the orientation, and I just pick the orientation of the other one that I know can jam down into that corner, right? And it calculates that tool path. And I guess the novice is just cutting a lot of air doing it this way, right? Maybe Rob can chime in here and teach me something. Or I know it has the capability you can draw your own geometry, so you have different tools that are made for doing that. So now it jumped all over this side that we already cut, but it jammed into that corner and got that, and then cut a bunch of air over here. So then that one's good to go. Let's go ahead and change the color of that. We'll make that one bright blue and blank it out. And then let's go ahead and finish it off. And essentially, I'm going to just do the same thing for the finish pass, just because I don't know any other way. But I can put a finish one on with default tooling. I mean, who knows? 0.1 I think is that it's leaving a 0.1 depth or something. So who knows what I'm really cutting? But there's a finish tool that way. I'm just going to drag this on and make you suffer through it, just because I can. And then it finishes the finishing tool path. And again, skipping the area that the finish tool doesn't fit in, but makes a nice good finish on that side. And then let's go ahead and just put a second finish. This is the part where everybody's laughing now. Let's edit that. Excuse me. And on this one, I think we have to choose tool number 6. And say, okay, it's going to calculate